Starting to the top left of Belgia Vestige, the Protoss player for Team Startail. It is
Startail Avenge.
looking a little bit like Bomber for a second.
Yeah, I was laughing about something else, but like I see that too, and that makes me smile even deeper. His opponent to the bottom right in the blue teamless is
Alive.
Do you remember when we were talking about whether this map is Belshire Vestige or Belshire Vestige?
Yeah.
It just made me laugh. Thinking about now, like we said Vestige so many times now, that Vestige just seems like a silly pronunciation at this point.
Back then we didn't know.
We didn't know.
We had no idea.
Now I'm thinking about it though, and I'm like, what if Vestige was actually like how well you have the ability to wear a vest? Like the Korean casters have higher Vestige than we do.
Oh, they actually do. You know what is funny? We made so much fun about those suits that we have a little bit. Like, it's a bit old-fashioned. It looks like a character out of the 70s. The other day, I left my apartment, and there was a Korean guy standing in front of the other doors in the building. And I'm not joking. He wore exactly this suit.
Really?
Yeah.
How old was he?
Oh, he was actually pretty young. I would say, like, maybe 25 to 30.
I think these suits look good. I just don't think, no pun intended, they suit me necessarily.
I saw the Korean casters wear them, and I actually walked in like the other day when there was Code S and Mr. J was just standing in front of me, and I just looked at him and was like, hey, you look really good in that suit. And I was like, wait a second, is that the same thing that we are wearing for Code A? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's actually exactly the same suit. I'm like, this looks so much better at you than it does at me.
Mr. Che, he wears things well. That's certainly true.
He's like the Keen of the Korean casters.
I just feel like Korean casters, like I said, it's a new stat I've just introduced. It's called Vestige, and their Vestige is very high. Now, look at what we have here.
They get like a +2 bonus because they are Koreans.
Yeah,
plus, so
maybe even +5 Vestige.
Oh, wow.
It's quite strong.
That is really imba.
It's not fair. But that's just how things are. That's how the world works, Keller. And how this game works is that Alive... Yes. Alive is teching. He is going for a non-standard build here. Oh, that SCV just had a narrow escape from getting slashed. He's very lucky.
Yeah. That one lucky SCV here. And able to scout that we so far don't have an expansion for Avenge either. But Alive definitely now with the bunker at the front. Trying to sell the idea... Wow. What?
I thought Alive was going to eBay block and then Avenge, and then they didn't, so I was a little bit surprised by that, but I was much more surprised by the fact that we have a Twilight Council here.
This looks actually like we're going to see... Do we see a Stuck Shrine?
I think we see Blink Stalkers, actually. And part of the reason why is Blink Stalker is so good against... Oh! It's gone the wrong way! Oh, made the wrong choice.
Alive is like, kill me now. Literally.
Avenge just like... He's like, he actually had like his finger on the escape button on the Twilight Council. He was like, ah. Then he's like, okay.
That's the Dark Shrine?
He actually is going DTs. That Zealot had a bad luck streak there.
Oh, this is going to get interesting.
Yeah. Because this is the drop play versus DTs. And DTs are actually good to defend drops, like normal drops, but against this type of drop, they're not very good because you don't have enough resource warp in a lot of them, and they can't kill the Hellions faster than the Hellions can kill the Harvesters, I think. I'm pretty sure. This is going to be weird.
This is going to be really weird. The question is just, where are the DTs going to be?
Yeah, he doesn't have a pylon yet, but I think he's seeing a probe across.
Will it be rather the aggressive DTs, or will he be able to warp a few in as soon as the drop happens in his main base? And what about Alive? Will he see the Dark Templars when they try to move in and block his ramp?
Yeah, that's a good question too.
If he does, then everything's fine. Then he's in his main base, he can drop a scan, he can force them back, he can repair with SCVs and put on the aggression. But if he misses them and they're in the main base, then things might completely spiral out of control. Alive actually sees that something is wrong. He knows something is up here. He sees the Pylon Wolf. He knows about the Pylon. This is why he builds...
That is embarrassing, actually, that he made that Pylon in Vision.
He builds a few bunkers in the main, and he saw the warp in. He knows. Alive knows.
Did he see it, though? Well, yeah, he starts his eBay now.
Yeah, he saw it. He saw it. He looked at the Marine there.
All right, well, this is going to be a matter of repairs, and he needs to wait for that eBay. The drop continues. He sends Stalkers over, though. He sees the drop as well. And that's actually a tight wall. He
That's
can't run in.
really good SimCity.
Yeah.
He should actually just elevate over.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he does.
Forces all the probes off the mineral line. A lot of mining time lost here already. Alive now with the missile turret. He's still, there's still one DT who plays Slasher and tries to take down Supply Depot.
One thing to consider here is that Avenge has now 2 Nexi though. He has basically lost no probes. I think he Alive killed 1. Yeah, he only killed 1 probe with the Hellions.
You can really see that what Avenge was trying to do here is positioning another pilot at the low ground, get into the main base with the DT, use the high ground vision and warp more DTs in. That did not really work. And now it's like the second step. Well, I cannot actually warp into your main base. Let's get a warp first.
Exactly. This SimCity is so sick. I'm saying I remember my Open Wolf Club days. You probably know this player, Wilco, a German player.
Yeah, of course I know Wilco. I played 2-on-2 with him for a long time.
He always had like the best walls in the main base. Reminds me of him.
Wilco and I would actually play Protoss and Zerg. I would 7-pool and he would Cannon Rush. You would be surprised how well that works.
It sounds good, man. This is a fake drop, by the way. There's nothing in there, and he's going to run the Hellions into natural. This is a cool little strat, and the probes are totally fooled by it.
Yeah, a lot of the Harvesters are gone here. Avenge is losing quite a bit, and Alive now going into his expansion. Harvester count is nearly equalized. Oh, he can't get even more! No.
But still, that's a lot of Harvesters killed 9 until... But here comes the DT!
How did that DT get in?
He must have finished the warp in before the Warp Prism was killed by the Viking. Nope.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't actually know how that happened. The Warp Prism is dead, so there must something weird happened over there.
He probably just lowered the supply depots for a second and then a DT snuck in.
Well, the fake drop occurs again. The supply is even. The tech is better for Avenge in some ways. But there are medevacs out, remember, for Alive, and they're starting to build up energy.
The economy is getting really good for Avenge. That's one of the main advantages that he has. Where he has to be really careful, that is when Alive decides to move out. This is also why we see the charge upgrade now. If you have the Twilight Council, you have the choice between charge and blink. Blink helps you against drops, but with the setup that Avenge has, he can really work against this. So charge gives him a lot more... It gives him more of an edge in the actual fight, which is why he's getting it now. DT is moving in, but already spotted by the Raven and by the Marines.
Yeah, I think he thought that was a scam. Oh, no kills either. He doesn't have combat shields or stim, so DTs can do quite well against Marines that are unprotected. This one Immortal is going to have an unhappy day.
One Immortal has to run circles around the SimCity of Avenge.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with SimCity. If you make it like this, it's better to have one gap where you can put one Stalker in there or something like that.
He's trying to intercept the drop, and he could actually pull that off if Alive doesn't see it and he doesn't spot it. Bam.
Hellion's not even going to get out to tell the tale.
He tried, though.
It was still a really annoying drop. He forced all the probes off. You know how much time it actually takes to resaturate? Let me tell you. You pull all your probes out of one main, you send it to the next base, then the Hellions get deflected, then you go and travel back, then you put all the probes back in the gas. Oh, it's just so annoying.
Yeah.
He missed 2 pylons, actually, as a result.
And he's going into a robotics bay now. Alive. This is a little bit of a weird game. I mean, this is a DT opening, so it's supposed to be, but you can really see that Alive also doesn't exactly know what to make of this.
Yeah,
he has
did
2
an
bunkers.
aggressive opening himself.
Yeah, he has 2 bunkers. He's getting another one because he doesn't know, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to go into Archons right now with the DTs that you have? You already have charge. What are you going to do?
As long as that factory is at the 3rd base and doesn't see a Nexus there, he's probably going to just sit back behind these bunkers because you're so right, he doesn't know. It could be anything. He's already seen the Twilight Council. Well, I mean, he knows the Twilight Council's there because of DTs, but it's a scary situation to be in.
Yeah.
You expect a charge follow-up to something like this.
Alive is still ahead in overall supply, and with the upgrades finishing for him, he is bringing himself into a pretty good spot. But he also doesn't have a 3rd command center just yet. He's only on 2 bases. We have Avenge going into Blink after he finished charge, and also researching the extended thermal lance upgrade. Even gearing up with additional gateways, he now has the economy that he can support them.
Yes. Look at this. Just a big force coming across the map. Combat Shield's about to finish. This is something that Avenge will struggle a little bit to deal with. He has DTs he can warp in to help defend. The problem, of course, becomes the Raven. That's why Alive does not want to overextend himself here. Several times, Avenge has already poked at that Raven. It's getting low on hit points, and if he loses it, the DTs become... Oh, wow, point defense drone saves his life. Wow.
Oh my God. Can't believe that he actually was able to save it, but it's going to die now.
Colossi come in here, and so do the DTs.
Yeah, and now he has to actually scan the DTs there, doing its damage. The Colossus is doing exactly the same thing. Alive is trying to move in, and he's taking down the Colossus.
He loses a lot to the DTs, and the Immortals are going to help push this back as well. Alive takes the better trade, though, and he has now a 20 supply lead. There's no third Nexus made still.
That was really well done by... well, I don't know, both players really in this fight with a couple of good moves. First of all, Alive able to take down this Colossus after Avenge tried to save it. The decision to warp in the DTs after sniping the Raven, of course, exactly what you want to do. And that was actually a pretty cool fight to watch. This battle of detection just happening, and then the DT doing what it was supposed to, forcing Alive back for now. That was really interesting to observe.
This is now Alive trying to put on a little bit more pressure at the third base just to see if it's there. Nice blink. And he drops out smartly.
He actually faked him out a little bit with the blink, but this drop in the main base, that's going to do a lot if he stims now. And that's what he should. Takes down the DT even before anything else happens. Now he's taking down a pilot. He's killing most of those zealots already. And Avenge is quite lucky that this is the time when the next Colossus pops out of the robotics.
But you can see how useful DTs are at drop defense. If you have to scan every time a drop comes in, it just, you start to wonder if is it worth it. And Alive, though, gets out. He can come back again.
This is scary now, Wolf.
Yeah, this is really scary. He doesn't have really anything set up here. He's got a lot of Harvesters, but he doesn't have a lot of army.
He has only one Viking.
And a lot of his army is in dropships, and he's just going to lose this CC. What?
I think he might actually just lose the game here.
Well, now Avenge can just walk away.
There are no Vikings, Wolf. No Vikings.
And he just rallied out 2 more medevacs.
He doesn't even build them, and he is supply blocked. He couldn't if he wanted to.
And these units are going to be in a choke point against the Colossi. Nice defensive blink back. The Zealots can tank.
Oh,
the drops in the main will easily be deflected by DTs. As long as he warps them in on time.
He's just used all his warp-ins, but even if he loses his main base, is this really going to be the end of the game? I don't think so. One DT is actually being warped in. He did that in time. There's a scan available, and he uses it. He's going to lose a lot here, but in the end, it will come down to the question whether there are not enough scans, basically. Yeah, another DT warp-in will save this base.
Exactly. He has to lift his orbital now. And those units are blocked by forces. Even the Archon at the front to help tank. 3 Colossi going to work here. The other DT comes in. Remember, he's mining still completely at his natural. And Avenge is going to take this. No question.
He's going to take the game without a problem anymore. Alive is down to 40 supply, losing units to the DTs.
He can't land his top left anymore to even do scans.
He can't scan, and this is it. GG.
That was a weird situation. It would seem like Alive had the dominant position on the map.
Yeah.
But he had too many units in the medevacs and no bunkers, so he didn't have also the Vikings that you mentioned.
Labyrinth and Alive, the 2 players that did not win a single game yet. And, well, Avenge takes it, so he's now on a score of 1-1. And we are heading into another game, and this is actually a game that I'm really looking forward to. We have Crazy versus Noblesse now. That should be a very good match. 2 of the players that took their first game today, and Crazy has already shown us that he's kind of cheese-proof.
Yeah.
Against Labyrinth, with a scout, saw the early double barracks. Now he's up against Noblesse. Not really your cheesy player, more like a very stable guy, a standard guy who has good micro, good macro. Can Crazy do it again?
Exactly. Can he do it again? And what sort of opening we're going to see from Noblesse? Is it just going to be your standard command center first? Is he going to go mech? I don't think so. That was kind of a weird thing that we happened to see in Planet S, which is in fact going to be the map that we see. Actually, no, this is Icarus.
This is Icarus.
Okay, so this is actually going to be Noblesse just playing defensively and then being Terran. Probably.
Being Terran, I like that. Well, Noblesse versus Crazy, and Crazy has a very good record against Terran. We talked about this is by far his best matchup. And against Noblesse, he will need a very strong matchup. Noblesse is a good player, he showed it against Alive. If Crazy takes this, then he and Boom Boom will lead the ranking with a 2-0 score. And Noblesse will be on 1-1, tied with Avenge. But the same is true for Noblesse.
Yeah, usually on this map, as a Zerg player, you want to be the aggressor. You don't want to let the Terran sit back and get those extra minerals. The Terran player is much more comfortable taking a third. What are we going to see? Let's find out right now. Icarus is the map. Crazy versus Noblesse here at the GSL Up and Downs, broadcasted by Counter on Wall.